manufacturing. Tickets for the opening day of Shanghai Disneyland sell out within minutes. And the spring has arrived. Flowers blooming across the country, and not just a pretty sight, but also help to boost the local economies. Chinese President Xi Jinping has arrived in Prague for a state visit to the Czech Republic. President Xi is the first Chinese head of state to visit the country in 67 years. Czech President Miloš Zeman will later invite Mr. Xi to the presidential residence outside Prague for a banquet, the first foreign dignitary to be ever hosted there. While the visit will run through Wednesday, President Xi will meet top Czech officials. The visit will also include a business forum and the signing of Chinese investments in the nation of 10.6 million people. And for more on President Xi's visit, we go live to our reporter Zhang He, who has been covering from Prague. Good evening, Zhang He. We know President Xi has already arrived. It is the first Chinese state in 6 decades. What is on his agenda?
As you know, the Chinese President Xi Jinping has arrived in Prague, the capital of the Czech Republic, and everything is ready for him because he is the first Chinese head of state to pay a visit to the Czech Republic since the two countries established their diplomatic relations 67 years ago. And it is also his first visit to the Central and Eastern European countries as a Chinese president, as well as his first diplomatic trip in 2016. So, as the president of the Czech Republic said previously, everything is ready for him. It will be a very high standard. And the only thing Czech don't have is like a golden carriage that we saw last year when President Xi Jinping visited the United Kingdom. And so probably later on, President Zeman will host the Chinese president in his private castle, the Lani Castle on the outskirts of Prague, for a private meeting. And it will be the first head of state to be invited there. It shows that the two leaders want to establish that personal relationship to build trust and cooperation between the two countries. And also, we know that in 2014, when President Zeman visited China, he gave President Xi Jinping a young apple tree as a gift, and saying that the relationship between China and the Czech Republic, just like this young apple tree, can take roots and can bear fruit and can harvest. So the President Xi Jinping said we can pick more fruits from the apple tree and plant more apple trees. So probably, according to the Chinese ambassador to the Czech Republic, this time the Chinese president will give a young apple tree to the President Zeman as a return gift. And also tomorrow probably we'll have a grand welcoming ceremony here just in the Prague Castle, the residence of the President of the Czech Republic, and it will be huge. And also the President Xi Jinping will meet the leaders from both chambers of the Parliament of the Czech Republic. And also there will be other activities that he will attend, like cultural events and business events. Like there will be a roundtable discussion, the meeting between the Chinese company leaders and also the representatives from the Czech companies. Mm-hmm. So a lot of events will happen. But the most important thing this time is widely expected that the relationship between China and the Czech Republic will be pushed to a new level, to a strategic partnership. It means the two countries can have more cooperation in different fields in the future. Back to you, Zhu.
As you said, Zhang He, that apple tree probably is a good symbol of pragmatic diplomacy between Czech and China. And we understand the trade between China and Czech Republic is $11 billion in 2014. That's not a very big number compared with many major European countries. But how would you describe the business partnership between Czech and China?
I think firstly you should look at the location of the Czech Republic. It's in the heart of Europe, and he has a very strong industrial capability, and as well as the comparatively cheap labor force compared to other European countries. And also we should know that the One Belt One Road initiative put forward by the Chinese government recently, and the Czech is in a very key location on this route. So there is a huge potential for the cooperation on the economic aspects. So there are a lot of Chinese investments here already. We have a lot of Chinese companies build factories here and produce things supplied to the European market, because Czech Republic is within the European Union. And it's quite convenient because it's at the beginning of a supply chain which can very easily to reach Germany, to reach other European countries. So the position is very good. As you mentioned, that there will be a big delegation from the Chinese companies coming with the presidents. So probably there will be more business talks. So the President Zeman previously predicted that there will be a new round of the Chinese investment coming to the Czech Republic, and there will be around 20 new deals will be signed, will be announced during this visit. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Zhang He, for your reporting from Prague. Well, the Czech Prime Minister, Bohuslav Sobotka, has given a written interview to CCTV, and he said President Xi's visit will be a great opportunity for the two countries to develop our relations. And he hopes the Czech Republic will become China's aviation and financial hub in Central Europe. And he looks forward to more cooperation on finance, healthcare, sports, and education.
The Czech Prime Minister responded to questions on various aspects. Bohuslav Sobotka says, given the importance of the People's Republic of China and its important role on global scene, deepening ties with China is one of his government's chief priorities. He says we have intensively dedicated ourselves during the last 2 years to the strengthening Czech-Chinese relations, and these efforts now start to bear fruit. Sobotka expressed his personal delight at this first historic visit of the Chinese president in the Czech Republic. Sobotka mentions agreement on cooperation between the two countries concerning the Belt and Road Initiative. The Czech Republic's primary objective for this cooperation with China is to become the aviation and financial hub for China in the Central Europe. His country also wants to deepen cooperation in industry. On financial cooperation, Sobotka says China's financial institutions more resemble Czech financial groups rather than Czech banks. Entry of those large institutions to its market will not only be an impetus for the financial sector, but in sense for all sectors of the Czech economy. Sobotka also comments on the Chinese-European Initiative 16+1. He says the platform is viable and important. He expresses pride that the Czech Republic became one of the drivers behind this platform. He says the Czech government closely cooperates with China in many areas. Tourism and aviation are the two examples. He cites the direct air route between Prague and Beijing, which opened last autumn. Another air route will be opened in the coming weeks between Prague and Shanghai, and in the near future to Chengdu. He says healthcare is another sector which is going great. The Czech Republic became the base for traditional Chinese medicine. The Prime Minister says China remains one of the largest economies in the world. He says its economic restructuring will contribute to further development of the Chinese society. Sobotka says China is now headed towards transformation of this production in the direction of a more demanding and better quality production. This means both competition and cooperation. The Prime Minister hopes high-quality Czech technology and products in the industrial sector could have more chances in Chinese market.
And many say China's relations with the Czech Republic have been on the fast track thanks to a rail freight corridor between the two nations. The line provides fast, smooth, and convenient communication and freight exchanges. Starting in the city of Wuhan in central China's Hubei province, its terminal is 11,000 kilometers away in the northeast Czech city of Pardubice. While crossing Kazakhstan, Russia, Belarus, and Poland on its way, the unique geological path is invaluable for Chinese companies looking to enter Europe. Driven by the construction of Belt and Road Initiative, the line is extending west, deep into Europe.
The Czech Republic, because of its strategic position in the center of Europe, and it's good, so the access and infrastructure would be the best hub for Chinese, not only investors, definitely, but also for the Chinese companies willing to settle logistically and with the transportation.
And China's Hainan Airline launched the first non-stop flight from China to the Czech Republic last September as a key part of the initiative. The airline has attracted huge numbers of passengers from China and other countries just after several months of operations.
The direct Beijing to Prague route shortened the traveling time between the two cities from at least 14 hours to 10 hours, and has also provided convenient transfers to tourists heading to and from Central Europe.
刚开航的时候，以这个
When the route was first launched, passengers were mainly Chinese tourist groups, but the number of foreign passengers has kept growing in the past half year. Only 10% of the passengers on our inaugural flight were foreigners, and now the number is 30% at least.
When the plane lands here in Prague, there is a connection to more than 70 destinations across Europe. So we've seen during the first 3-4 months of the operating the increase in the Chinese travelers by 46%, and we expect that number be at least the same for the entire year, or it might even grow.
There are more opportunities for cooperation between the two countries as additional Chinese tourists and investors visit the Czech Republic.
There's still a lot of room for improvement with regards to cargo. I think that we just started, and it's quite necessary to use our two cargo handlers here on the Prague, and I think that people from Hainan Airline should basically talk to them and increase that, because we expect around 50,000 tons that we had last year here, where we handle here at the airport, and we expect that it's gonna be 10%. And I hope that that Hainan Airline will actually contribute to that.
Hainan Airline is planning to adjust the frequency of its flights according to passengers' numbers and change from flying a Boeing 767 to a larger Airbus 330 to meet demand. Wang Xiaozhou, CCTV.
So the Czech Republic and China, where the relations is heading, we're now joined in the studio by Professor Wang Yiwei from the School of International Studies at Renmin University. Good evening, Mr. Wang. So why did President Xi choose to visit the Czech Republic the first time this year as a European destination, and how it will impact China's relation with Central and Eastern European countries?
Well, this is a historic visit since the establishment of the diplomatic relations between China and the Czech. First time Chinese president to visit Czech. Of course, in current years, the Czech President Zeman visited China twice. Particularly last September, he also attended the ceremony and military parade of counter-fascism. So this is the only current European Union president to attend that. I think the Chinese very appreciative of that. In recent years, Czech Republic, I think, eager to grasp of the opportunity of the rise of China, particularly for the first of the Central European countries signed joint memorandum of to build One Belt One Road. At the same time, also Czech Republic is very active promoting so-called 16+1, the China and the Central Eastern European countries, as a coordinator of the local and the regional government corporations. Czech Republic, I think, helped a lot in promoting this mechanism and working relations with China.
What is your assessment of the role of Czech in China's grand scheme of One Belt, One Road? We know Czech Republic is a gateway to Western Europe. So how important is it?
Well, in Prague, I just visit. There's a symbol said there's the heart of Europe. So One Belt, One Road, the core is mutual connectivity. So Czech Republic as a gate is not just a gate, but maybe it's also a destination of the Belt and Road mutual connectivities. Czech Republic domestically also they have some similar plan of a mutual connectivity to connect some rivers and the sea. So that also eyes on to attract Chinese investment, maybe Silk Road fund. At the same time, Czech Republic as a traditional industrial country, they can contribute a lot in mutual connectivities and other logistic in the Belt and Road Initiative. For instance, Czech Republic, there are small jet flags and also radar system is very advanced in the world. At the same time, Czech Republic can also be the center of the logistics, and also it's the first Central European countries to accept Chinese traditional medicines center, and people-to-people exchange also developed very rapidly in Czech Republic. Czech people very eager to want to learn from Chinese Kung Fu, traditional Chinese culture, and Chinese tourists, of course.
So that explains very much why it is an ideal place for President Xi to choose for his European tour. Thank you very much, Mr. Wang. And you're now watching China 24, and there was much more still ahead on this program. China sees its fastest growth in 18 months in industrial profits. What does this say about manufacturing industry in this country? And tickets for the opening day of Shanghai Disneyland in June just sell out within minutes. The story of China is a story of change. We tell the story because we believe what happens here makes the world different every day.
Life is a journey of discovering different perspectives. We are young, open-minded, and dynamic. We push the envelope and think out of the box.
CCTV News is one of the voices in the world, and our voice is new and loud.
I am from America, but I live and work in China. Great powers have big stories. CCTV News is watching closely.
I like sharp but informed opinions. Television is not just a show. We deliver a voice of reason through balanced dialogue and very tough discussions. We believe ideas matter.
Full Frame is bigger and better than ever. We're now coming to you from New York City, from our studio in time.
Dopravu z Číny do Evropy. Usilujeme o to, abychom byli sídlem